Hey folks, just had this great question. 18.06 2f, it says, express the number 512 as a power of 4. Now, well, what's that going to be? So, in other words, if I had 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 enough times, would it equal 512? Well, let's see. We know that 4 times 4, that's 16. I'll write 16 underneath. And if I multiply that by another 4 times 4, or another 16, and 16 16s are 256, and 512 is double. So if I can just go multiply that by 2, then I've got 512. But there's a 2 there, and it says express it as a power of 4. So I have to somehow turn that into a 4 of some sort. So the question is, what's the relationship between 2 and 4? Well, if I take the square root of 4, here it is, the square root of 4, that's 2. Now, so if I could express that as a power, I could just write that and know it's the 2. So how do I write that? Well, if I want to find the square root of any number, I just write it as the number to the power of a half. So, for example, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 100 is 10. Yeah? So the half to the power of a half just means the square root. So I could write 4 to the power of a half. So rather than writing a 2 there, I could just write, because I know that the square root of 4, there it is, the square root of 4 is a half. So now I could write, this is powers of 4. So this is 4 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 512 is going to be 4 to the power of 4, there it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 2, or 4 to the power of a half. And we know that that equals 512. So I've got 4 fours, which is 256, times 2, there's 2, that's my 2, it's the square root of 4, there's my 2, is 512. So that works out. So how do we do this? Well, when you are going to multiply powers, when you're multiplying powers, you simply add the powers together when the bases are the same. Bases are both 4. I can just add the powers, so it becomes 4 to the power of 4.5 is equal to 512. But we can't write powers as mixed fractions. We write them as improper fractions. So 4.5, or 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So in other words, 4 to the power of 9 over 2, which is the same as 4.5, is equal to 512. And that's how we solve expressing 512 as a power of 4.